Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Julia XO. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about your self relationship. This consists of so many things, okay? So many things. Typically, when people think self relationship, they're only thinking, okay, just my relationship towards self. Like, I am great, I'm amazing, I love myself. But that is not all there is to it. There are so many different things to it. Not to complicate anything, but there are just different aspects. The truth is, you should be your everything. And that is not to put a burden onto yourself and say, okay, the only person that's here for myself is myself. At the end of the day, you need to be able to have that support within. Even if there are people in your life, you need to have that support, that foundation within yourself. It's not only great for yourself, but it allows for your other relationships to thrive because you're not being dependent on them to fulfill certain things within yourself. It's great to have that foundation within yourself, not relying on others to give it to you. So, all the foundations that I feel that you should have are your relationship with yourself as self. I'm amazing, I am great, I love myself, I'm connecting with myself, I bond with myself, those type of things. You should also have a relationship with yourself as a friend, as a best friend rather. Again, still connecting with yourself. How would you treat your friend? How would you bond with your friend? And then doing all those things for yourself. Third thing that you want to have is a parental relationship with self. And I know that can sound a little crazy, but a lot of people have wounds. Almost everybody ends up getting a wound in life. I fear it's inevitable because hurt teaches you things. When you feel hurt and you grow from it, you grow to be a greater version of yourself than you ever could have been without ever experiencing that hurt. But yeah, so parental. Again, you have wounds. You have childhood wounds. And when you are working on these wounds, working on healing these wounds, and having a new mindset different than the mindset that you have installed into yourself because of these wounds, you are parenting yourself. Like, you are working with your inner child and reframing your concept about yourself or whatever it is that you had issues with. Not just parental though. I know it might sound a little crazy, but you should really just trust that I know what I'm talking about. Trust that it's, this will actually help you. I know that certain things that I may say sounds like it can be embarrassing to do or just sounds crazy, but I wouldn't be saying it if I hadn't fact-checked it and did it for myself. So another thing, and go ahead, get out of your seat with this one, because I know that this is going to sound crazy to some people. If you are considering being in a romantic relationship, or you are in one, you also need to have that romantic relationship with yourself. And how does this work? Anytime I say, okay, have that ex relationship with self, just think about how you would have that relationship with these people who, aren't you, and then do all of that for yourself. I know that may sound complicated, but think about it. Okay, so how would you want your partner to treat you? Think about that and then do it for yourself. How would you have wanted your parents to treat you? How would you have wanted them to talk to you? Think about that. Do it for yourself. So on, so on, so on. Such a big thing that you need to do is connect with yourself. You need to have such a deep relationship with yourself. You should be like, you are the most important person in your life. You come first. You come first. And you should never be treating other people better than you are treating yourself. When I say connect with yourself, it's not just about having a great self-concept, but actually learning things about yourself, doing what you love, and treating yourself with respect. All things of that matter. Again, think about how you would connect with another person, and then do that all for yourself. That's what you do. Do you know what you love? Do you know what you love in the world? Do you know what you love about yourself? Do you know your favorite food? Why is that your favorite food? Do you know your favorite TV show? Why is that your favorite TV show? A lot of you guys may be like, oh, yeah, I'm already connected to myself. But when's the last time that you did something for yourself or spent time by yourself? Just being with yourself. Not being by yourself and scrolling on your phone. Being by yourself and truly connecting with yourself. Even if you're reading a book, that's okay. But I don't think you should just be with yourself. Be by yourself and spend your time with yourself doing something that isn't the best for you. Like, why would you take the time when you're by yourself to ridicule yourself? No. Instead, you can do healthy feedback. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle towards yourself. Really see and face the fact that you make mistakes, and you're bound to make mistakes because nobody's perfect. Really accept that and love yourself for every single aspect about yourself. Again, a lot of you guys do not take time for yourself. Just being by yourself, doing what you love, or getting to know yourself, or even why you are the way you are. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying, oh, why the heck are you, why do you act like this? That's not what I'm saying. But, yeah, figuring out why you are the way you are. Why are you so obsessed with that one song? What memories does that song bring to you? What feeling does that song bring to you? What headspace does that song put you in? Why do you talk the way that you talk? Are you nervous? Are you afraid? Are you afraid to speak your truth? Why this? Why that? Get to know yourself. That is such an important thing, and so many people aren't having that with themselves, or aren't doing that with themselves. The only way that you can truly have such a stable connection with others is to have that stable connection within yourself. Because at the end of the day, people are a reflection of you. And you may think that is just bogus, but think about it. The people in your life truly always reflect something within you, or something that you need to learn. A person who has such high respect for themselves wouldn't have people in their life that don't treat them with respect. A person who takes care of themselves probably wouldn't go somewhere and make friends with someone who doesn't take care of themselves. Probably not, because that's typically not the person that they want in their life. You want somebody that, you know, matches you. And whether you do this consciously or subconsciously, it's true. And you may not realize it now, but you will realize it. You will realize it. Every single person in your life is teaching you something. Even the little interactions in your life have significance. I feel that nothing is insignificant. Again, even the tiniest interactions in your life have significance. This isn't to say that life is all about learning, because you need to have fun too. You need to relax too. But again, like, you think about it. I want you guys to think, the people in your innermost circle, think about what they're teaching you. And to figure out what they're teaching you, you need to figure out how they challenge you or where they irritate you at the most. That's how you figure out their purpose in your life. You know how I said you need to have those different type of variations of relationships with yourself, platonic, parental, self? Well, you also need to be doing your love languages for yourself. So again, think about your love languages. There are 5 known love languages: words of affirmations, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Now, give me at least 2 of those. I want you to think about the love languages that mean the most to you. Now that you've thought about it, I want to ask you this. Do you do those love languages for yourself? Or are you only ever doing them for others? And even if you don't do them for others, the biggest question is, are you doing those for yourself? For example, if one of your love languages are words of affirmations, do you say positive things to yourself? Do you hype yourself up? If one of your love languages are physical touch, do you hug yourself? If one of them is quality time, are you spending that quality time alone with yourself? If one of them is acts of service, are you doing helpful things for yourself? And not just the things you need, because it's not just the things you need, but are you doing things that are beneficial for yourself? If it's receiving gifts, are you giving yourself gifts? And gifts don't have to be something that you buy. It doesn't have to be something that you buy. So I don't even want to hear that excuse. Are you? And I bet you that for most of you, and this is no shade, for most of you, you're not doing them. You're not doing them. And now that you've thought about it, you need to make that change. You don't need to make it immediately. You don't need to be hard on yourself. You don't need to go from 0 to 100. When you take even the tiniest of steps, that's still change. And those tiny steps set you up for success. The thing is, you have to build a good foundation. You have to build a good foundation. Just going from 0 to 100 is not building you a good foundation. When people build houses, they don't start by building the roof. At least I've never heard of that, and that's crazy if you do. Going from 0 to 100 is going straight to the top. And you know what? You're probably going to plummet because you don't have a good foundation. You're putting way too much pressure on yourself. You need to put yourself on a pedestal. The same way that you have put things in the past that don't deserve your attention on a pedestal, that very rude partner that didn't deserve to be put on a pedestal, those issues that didn't deserve to be put on a pedestal, the same way you put those things on a pedestal, you need to put yourself on a pedestal. You need to be your priority. You need to prioritize yourself. You need to only allow the best for yourself. Only allow the best for yourself. So this doesn't just apply to one thing. It applies to a myriad of things, a plethora of things. It applies to every single thing in your life. Every single thing in your life. Why would you ever settle for less? I only hear people talking about settling for less when it comes to a partnership. But this does not just apply to partnership. This even goes for yourself. If you want to change, but you refuse to change because you just don't feel like it, and you're like, okay, where I'm at is good enough, I guess, that is settling for less. And we do not tolerate that over here. We don't tolerate that over here. So no, don't settle for less. And again, I'm not asking you guys to jump from 0 to 100. You need a good foundation. In order for you to sustain where you want to be, you need a good foundation. A great foundation, even. Again, this not settling for less thing applies to many different things in your life. It does apply to relationships too. It does. So if a person in your life is not treating you how you deserve to be treated, then they should not be in your life. They should not be in your life. If you wouldn't want someone that you're very close to, that you love dearly, to be treated like that, why would you allow it for yourself? So it does apply to that too. Just it's not only partnerships that it applies to. And another thing, everybody should not be chasing. Like, no. Do not beg anybody to treat you right. If they don't want to treat you right, cut them off. Cut them off. They can leave. There's always going to be somebody, whether this is platonic or romantically, there's always going to be somebody that can treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. You attract what you are. You attract what you are. Everybody in your life, again, it's a reflection of yourself. So if you're allowing people to treat you wrong, but you don't treat yourself wrong, that's still treating yourself wrong because you're allowing other people to do it when you shouldn't allow that for yourself. So that's still treating yourself wrong. If you allow somebody else to treat yourself wrong, that's treating yourself wrong. A big thing, you guys. You guys should really work on your self-concept. And I'm going to mention something. I've been seeing the word self-concept thrown around left and right. And clearly y'all have no idea what a self-concept is. I've been seeing people talk about a self-concept when in reality you are referencing your concept about money. I've seen people say self-concept when in reality you are not talking about a self-concept. A self-concept is the concept on self, not anything else. Not anything else. Like some of y'all are having people confused because y'all don't know what you're talking about. Self-concept is the concept of self. Not a car concept, not a child concept, not a workout concept. Concept on self. Your concept about yourself. And now that sounds like such a fake word because I've just said it so many times. So, your self-concept, what you think about yourself, you guys. What you think about yourself. We're not talking about any external things, only internal. A self-concept is thinking you are amazing, or the opposite. A self-concept, thinking you are smart, or the opposite. A self-concept, thinking you are creative, that is a concept about yourself. Or thinking the opposite, that is also a concept about self. Whether you have a concept about self that is beneficial or not, it's still considered a self-concept. And, like I said, you guys should really work on your self-concept. You do not have to feel that what you're saying about the positive things that you were saying about yourself, or the beneficial things that you were saying about yourself, is true. You don't have to think that it's true. But the more that you continue, just continue to say it and continue to actually act in that manner. If you say to yourself that you deserve respect, and then you go about it in an opposite way, such as allowing disrespect from others and keeping them in your life, that's not going to work. So not only have those uplifting concepts about yourself, but also act with truth to them. I'm not sure how to say this because this can be taken about the wrong way, and you might think, okay, so I have to believe it. No, you don't have to believe it. Just fake it till you make it. What I'm saying is, again, if you tell yourself, if self-concept affirmation that you have is that you deserve respect, and then something happens and you are acting in a way that makes those affirmations about yourself seem incorrect, then you're messing yourself up. And I really just hope that you guys get this, because I'm not sure how to word it, but if your concept about yourself is that you are a loving person, but you are constantly hateful to others, then what's the point of saying these things about yourself if you're not going to actually act proving them to be right? What I'm really getting at here is act like the person that you want to become. All these self-concept affirmations or just the whole self-concept in general. The self-concept is the person that you want to be. Yes? Well, don't just say it. Actually be about it. Actually be that person. When you act like that person, you become that person. Your relationship with self is the biggest deal ever. It really is the biggest deal ever. And again, your relationship with self will reflect in your relationships, consciously and subconsciously. What I mean is, the people that you attract into your life will reflect you, whether you are consciously picking these people or subconsciously picking these people. Yeah, your self-concept is really important. Your relationship with self is extremely important. It's really important. It really is. And if you don't have a relationship with self, then what do you have? You need to, that should be such a great priority for you guys. You should really prioritize your relationship with self. It's so important. It's a very important relationship. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode of Juliet XO. You guys, remember to take it easy. You don't need to go from 0 to 100. You do not need to constantly be healing and healing and healing. It's okay to have fun too. It's okay to relax. Like, that does not need to be the only thing that you do all the time. In fact, you're going to be in a constant loop, because once you're quote unquote done healing, you're going to have to deal with the fact that that was like the only thing that you were prioritizing. Like, that was the only thing on your mind. You're going to have to deal with that. And that's going to be very irritating. Like, it is not okay to go without fun. It's like not okay to go without laughter. And I'm not saying you need to be having fun and laughing 24/7, but not having those things in your life, it's not the best. Don't forget to leave the podcast 5 stars and follow. So you guys doing that means so much to me. It helps the podcast reach more people, which helps more people help themselves. And when people help themselves, they are helping the world. Thank you guys so much.